Boom!
Here we
You
are.
are live and the direct in the tube with the great Frank Shields. How are you, Frank, today?
Well, it's feeling good, feeling positive.
Yeah, positive. It's always
Always
very,
positive with
it's always very, positive with the P. There you go. You see, even the word positive has the P in it. So,
Yes.
yeah. P, there's never been a time with PT that it wasn't positive anyway. So,
Yeah.
So today we're together to look at PT's book again. We're gonna start with the social worker because we might have done it, but just to be sure, and then when we go on with the rest, pathetic, and we have dog, God, polarity, love, and service. Yeah. Twice born. Anyway, it's
Some good ones. Yeah.
there's so many gems in there.
Yeah. Truly.
Like it's a book that I will never get rid of. It's a book that you can go back all the time to read and just to refresh, because we have tendency to forget.
That's
so it's better to refresh once in a while. Keep it close, keep it on your night table or whatever on your desk, and reread it often. Go in nature with it. The best is to go in nature with the book. Sit under a tree, whatever, in the nature setting, and just read it. And
let the words soak in.
let the words soak in. Yeah, exactly. And the answers will come, the reflection will come, the introspection, everything.
Right.
But you have to be willing to take a good look at yourself and your habits and your ways and stuff, because for sure once you make certain realization in there, it's called change after. So because we all have some big things to change in order to make a big things change in the world also. The world has to change in a major way. So don't you think yourself too?
Yeah.
So the social worker, I'll let you go with that, Frank.
All right, we'll begin.
Enough for my intro.
The social worker. Those who can't help themselves are always found distracting themselves, trying or pretending to help others. Whenever they confront something better than oneself, the social worker inside gets edgy. Service, by their definition, can only be done for the inferior, not the superior. No chance of ever serving divine on this path, cause divine will always be superior. Service of the higher is the path of evolution and bliss. Service of the highest is perfection.
OK, so en français maintenant, c'est ça qu'on fait, moi et Frank, depuis le début. Le travailleur social. Ceux qui ne peuvent même pas s'aider eux-mêmes sont toujours à se distraire, à essayer ou prétendre aider les autres. Quand ils sont confrontés à quelque chose de mieux qu'eux, le travailleur social intérieur devient nerveux. Le service, selon leur définition, ne peut être fait seulement pour l'inférieur, pas le supérieur. Aucune chance de servir le divin par cette voie-là, car le divin sera toujours supérieur. Le service du supérieur est la voie vers l'évolution et la béatitude. Le service du plus élevé est la perfection. I think we've done this one now, I remember. But it doesn't matter. Like I said, I can repeat it 25 times. It's good too.
Always relevant.
So, it's always relevant. So, the social worker, I think that's what happened often. Often. With majority people you will encounter in your life, they will try that trick on you, definitely, because even if that's why you have to be very careful also when you approach someone and the stuff you talk about. And it's always like a bit of a mask in your face, because unless they have a certain awareness of who they are, what they are, where they are, what they're doing here, they will try to play the social worker with you, definitely, because they cannot recognize anything higher than themselves. Just equal to them or lower.
Right.
But a little notch over themselves, forget about it. You're out. So, so it doesn't take long for them to, it's programmed in there. The brain is programmed into ways, and you're really sometimes it feels like you're dealing with robots because
Mm-hmm.
they are exactly unless they let go of that, they install a new program called Love for Higher and Divine.
Right.
That's a new program.
Uh-huh.
They will probably they will probably be stuck in that realm, that lower realm, because we were talking about higher realm and lower realm with PT.
Mm-hmm.
That's the low realm. When you
Right.
cannot recognize something higher than you, when you cannot recognize someone knows more than you, or has more wisdom than you, and you should maybe listen and learn,
Yeah.
you're gonna be staying in the low realm, and that's okay. Me, I'm on a higher realm. I don't really put energy on low realm stuff. So I don't put energy on people that are on lower realm because
Right.
they have to up themselves. You cannot save anyone. They have to save themselves.
Right.
So
That's it.
what's the point of even trying? Like, I don't even try. I just laugh today. And it's just so funny to see the ways that we're programming, and the
Mm-hmm.
social worker is one of them. So I said I wasn't going to make it long, but
Yeah.
I'm stopping now.
Yeah. Yes. P makes a great point in the beginning of this where, yeah, it's like when we're confronted with something that's, kind of challenges or confronts some part of us that, we're not putting in our full effort. We're short cutting ourselves, and we're cutting ourselves off by either not being honest with ourselves or like P is saying, like you were talking about, when we see something better than ourselves, something in the ego kind of like it gets like defensive, and it's like, oh no, I'm not going to try to match or like come up a level in my own actions. I'm going to, play some kind of default defense game or something like that. Um, and this whole thing too, and so that plays into this idea that like we're all equal, and the illusion of equality, when that's not actually the case. We're not all equal. We in a sense we all have the equal opportunity to work, um, and even in that thing, I guess depending on each of our situation and circumstance, our work also is going to be, to varying levels. But we each have an equal opportunity to start to take the steps to evolve ourselves, right? But like P is sharing here, there's this illusion that the service that we can do for divine, the only thing that we can do to serve divine is to, maybe like help the people who are less fortunate or something. Now that's being kind, and that's nice to, help people, like get people some food, like a homeless person on the street or something like that, or this whole like social worker aspect. But at the same time, like doing service for yourself and service for divine, service for your own evolution is a service to divine, right? So learning how to live in a harmonious way with earth and with others, and refining your own way that you speak, and not engaging in all these illusory traps and nonsense here. That is actually a work that it takes, because you're going to be different than everybody else. If you're not going to be the person who's like right there with everybody at the bar, drinking a beer down, or you're not going to be at the dinner table, or whenever, like if your family wants to take you out, you're not the one who's like ordering the steak or whatever, like, so you have to be willing to actually create a different circumstance and situation for your life by the choices that you make. And those choices are actually better for you, but in the context of like how everybody socially interacts, it's not going to be the same as what's normal. And so you have to be willing to be different, to be separate yourself from the herd and be like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna like, I can be around y'all like to the extent that that I need to be, or that I have to be, or that I want to be, but I am going to be able to carry my own vibration that is going to be working to be of service to higher and divine, and working to improve and perfect myself through time. We know it's not going to happen overnight, but we start taking those steps day by day. And a lot of people, like one of the things that Pete talks about is that
keep going. Keep going, okay? I'll just go shut my door because I hear background noise. It gets.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, one of the things that Pete talks about is that actually taking actions that are going to be improving yourself. Those are actions that are going to be meaningful, and those actions that are going to be helping us to evolve. And so there's nothing wrong with this concept of being selfish, as long as it's actually you're doing things that are going to benefit the self, actually, and not just consuming, or not just today's modern take on whatever selfishness would be just actually self-destruction. But real selfishness is self-improvement for the positive, and that is a vibe that starts to influence others in a positive way. So we should look at it in that sense, and not follow that mass mentality of, if you have either more resources or more time or whatever, you don't want to use that time to in a wasteful way. You want to use that time in a way that's going to actually be, improving yourself. But yeah, we touched on this P-log already, so we won't spend too much time on it. But it's
even before you said, "Oh, bring food to the homeless and stuff," it's nice and everything, but what kind of food are they bringing them?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
dog, hamburgers, French fries, like it's all scrap food often.
Yeah, you want to refine all of those points, right?
Yeah, that's it. So why not bring them fruits and veggies and something healthy? And
yes,
so often what I see is they're just feeding scrap to the homeless, and it's just like I think, like you said, that phenomena of auto-destruction of ourself, of our being, is something ingrained in us from a long time, and that's what they want. The system wants to kill you. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, the system wants to kill you.
They're like each choice you make for your detriment, they're applauding and they're laughing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Everything in the system is to kill you. You don't just see it. You just don't see it. You don't recognize it.
Yeah,
like the sunglasses. You don't see it, but it's killing you. It's killing your vibe. Why are you afraid of the light? Like, I don't get it. Anyway, I gotta stop with those sunglasses. But
yeah,
it's something that's so evident for me. It's like, why do you want to put yourself in the dark? It's daytime. I don't know. But it's this perpetual way of hurting ourselves subtly. It's subtle, the sunglasses. It's not something, but it has major effect on your health. So
yes,
you need the sun rays in your eyes. I was so glad Tempany did a song, and that's what he said in the song. I look at the sunlight, and I have the sunlight in my eyes, or something. I'm like, yeah. And I never see this guy with sunglasses. I've never seen him with sunglasses.
Yeah.
So I noticed you just observe them,
right,
and you will realize a lot of stuff that they haven't realized. But anyway. It's not up to me. I have realized that stuff. It's hurting me. The plastic clothes is hurting me. The sunglasses, the food, the music, the bad music, the freaking TV, I can name it. I can make a list of what they put out there so we can hurt ourselves continually. But the list would be so long. I would be here all summer. So we'll stop there. I think it's pathetic enough.
Yes.
We can go on with the pathetic one.
Pathetic. That's it. Pathetic. Whenever confronted with something higher than oneself, it is easy to realize the patheticness of one's own being. That is not a bad thing in itself, as it creates room for humility. But the really pathetic part is the majority's response to this feeling. They immediately look for something more pathetic than themselves and keep company with it to feel good about themselves. The door firmly shut on evolution. Devolution, here we come. It's all worth it as long as the ego is safe.
Save the ego. Wow. And that's what you do anyway. All your life, you're after saving that ego.
Yes.
Pathétique. Pathétique en français. Quand confronté avec quelque chose de supérieur à soi, c'est facile de se rendre compte de l'état pathétique de son être. Ce n'est pas une mauvaise chose en soi, comme cela crée de l'espace pour l'humilité. Mais la partie vraiment pathétique, c'est la réponse qu'a la majorité à ce sentiment. Ils cherchent immédiatement quelque chose de plus pathétique qu'eux et ils y tiennent compagnie pour se sentir bien par rapport à eux-mêmes. La porte fermement fermée à l'évolution, d'évolution nous voilà, ça vaut le coup du moment que l'ego est sauvé. And that's so true. Look, it is pathetic. And the word pathetic is very profound because it tells you in the word your pat is pathetic. Mm-hmm. But you don't realize you're pathetic. You know, realize. It's all about realization and perspective. Mm-hmm. Never mind truth, reality, or whatever. Change your perspective, change the way you look at things, stop and change your pathetic ways. Change your path, go into a more divine path because the pathetic path is the lower realm. So higher realm is it's not pathetic evolution, it's not the pathetic devolution.
Yeah,
it's evolution, and now it's for sure. But the thing is, like I said, this work is going to show up now, and you're going to have to work. The work is on yourself.
Yes.
And most of us do not really look at this work very profoundly because it's the job of someone else, not our job. No, what here after all, we're here to have fun and just get fucked up all day long with beer and pizza and freaking nonsense. Human beings really like to get fucked up. That's a fact. I noticed that around. People like to engage in drugs and alcohol and just cover that depression. That depression, really, it's to cover a depression because you are depressed. You're not creating nothing. Loving, creating. You're probably creating, not loving.
Yes, right.
Love something, bring something in the world, something that will make you heal at the same time. Like the music, like my wife told me, she said, you're doing this for healing also. You're healing yourself in the process. I'm like, yeah. It keeps me sane, keeps me positive. I rejoice with the music. Not the only one liking it, of course. Music is powerful. And music can move your emotion. So so definitely it's nothing to do with staying on that hectic path.
Yeah.
Anyway, BT says here that the moment you see something superior to yourself, you will the thing is, there's no humility also. There's no humility and you have broken your integrity. So as long as the integrity of your being on earth is reestablished, it's going to be hard to have a non-hectic path. Bring back integrity, humility, humbleness, kindness, love into your heart. Stop the hate. It ain't that important. Okay, I'm telling you today, the hate, it ain't that important. So
let it go.
Let it go, the hate. Just bring love for the world. Just love. And love is not fear. Love is not fear. Love is divine. Like that's what will save the world. Too. So just anyway. Okay, Frank.
Yes. I love this is a great point that P makes. I love the point where he says okay, you see something better than yourself. You see a person, a being who has higher standards and that can actually not only speak it, but they can live it, and that's like what I see in P, and the way that he carries himself, and the knowledge that he has, and just the way he goes about in the world, or it doesn't have to just be P, right? Is any being who really can like hold a higher vibration and higher consciousness, and when you see that, it can spark a self-reflection, of your own life, where you are, where you want to go, and not that like if you see something better than yourself or beyond you, you don't have to do like a copycat, we don't have to try to just mimic and like be other things, but there's certain ways that we can work on refining ourselves. And like P says, he says, when you see something higher, it's easy to realize your own faults, your own patheticness, your own ways that you have, going to shortcut yourself by kind of ignoring certain areas of your life, or because each thing takes time. Like the whole bit in astrology, each of the houses represents an area of life. We have to work on refining all those bits all the way around to be a holistic and a being who's really trying to go up, And so
just to relate to this, look what the divine has done with us. Just take me, for example. Go back in the first video here on the Truman Show and look at this one today. Look what the divine has done with me with time. Imagine another 10 years, another 20 years.
Yeah.
So it takes time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It definitely does. And it takes time because within that time, we're able to each day put in a certain amount of effort, a certain amount of work. We're able to learn, as we go along. Yeah. So this bit, like P says, it's not a bad thing in itself to be able to see yourself more clearly, because that creates room for humility. That creates a desire to want to improve, and that helps you to say, what, I don't know, and I want to learn. That's that humble attitude to be able to begin and start anew. But like P says, the pathetic part is not just how underdeveloped we are in certain ways or something like that. But the thing is that the people want to, instead of turn the direction they've been going in certain ways, they would rather just keep ignoring those parts of themselves that need work and say, hey, you know what, I'm just going to go, join the crowd that is shutting the door on evolution. And that way I don't have to think about how I need to change, and that's the choice of ignorance is never gonna do you good in the short run or the long run, so that is actually, that's a sad choice, but we've all, probably done it at some point in time, or are still doing it now to some extent, but the choice is there. We can actually decide that we don't want to go that way anymore, and we can start to take the actions that are needed.
We could call that, I was reflecting, I was trying to find the word, we could call that the Band-Aid way of living.
The Band-Aid way.
Band-Aid way of living. You just put a Band-Aid on something and everything's good. Don't need to look at it.
Right.
So no, it takes a deep look, definitely.
Exactly. And what we need to do is actually work on putting some type of thing on those wounds of ignorance. Like, we need to actually work on healing that and not just covering it up and not looking at it. We need to, it's going to be an infection that will come back and cause you more problems.
You should have a page, the Band-Aid way of living.
Yeah.
That would be good. But that's the pathetic way. So
yeah,
the same thing. Yeah. So no, I totally agree with you. You want to go on to the other one? Dog, God polarity. That's interesting too.
Yes.
I have something to say good about that. Of course.
Dog, God polarity. It's not a coincidence that dog and God are reverse of each other. It's either seeking of the superior, divine and God, for getting out of hell, or ego boosting through the inferior / dog and continuing to suffer in hell. It must be noted that the term dog does not always refer to the canine animal. Dogs come in various species, shapes, sizes, and forms.
Yep. La dog-God polarité. Ce n'est pas une coïncidence que dog, chien, et God, Dieu, ont un orthographe opposé. C'est soit la quête du supérieur divin Dieu pour sortir de l'enfer ou renforcement d'ego à travers l'inférieur chien et continuer à souffrir en enfer. Il doit être noté que le terme chien ne fait pas toujours référence à l'animal canin. Les chiens sont de différentes espèces, états, taille et forme. So yeah, no, definitely they come in different form and shape, but I really like that. I had something on this the other day, the dog and God, and it's not a random thing exactly that it's the inverse of each other, but maybe it's it tells us something too. It tells us something. Right. Because the dog is the man's best friend, right?
Right.
Everybody says that. There's other animals that can be very friendly, definitely, but we all know that dog is man's best friend. Okay? Right. So maybe that's why you have God and dog. Because I always said, I am a God. I am not your God. I'm not the God, but I am a God, just like you are a God. You know?
Right.
So I'm able to create my own, love my own reality through my thoughts and action. So I am a God. Not your God, not the God.
Right.
I'm a God. The creator. I know it. So that dog, polarity and stuff, tells me exactly that we are all God and goddesses. The dog is telling us. But that's not, in our default state, that's not exactly what we see into a dog. So yes, definitely. I think every animal is very, very divine. Everything is divine here on Earth.
Yeah.
Everything is, come on, it's magnificent. It's magic. But exactly that. That's what I see into that dog God thing. Like, I don't know if you want to extend it a bit more my thoughts on this, but maybe you have something else that can enlighten.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we're all bits and a fractal portion of the supreme being, right? We're connected to the supreme being, so we are, and the whole bit of like working on our evolution is we can reach different stages of consciousness in which we are going to continually be born into depending on the overall algorithm of the work that we do in our lives, we can come into births, we can come into higher existences in which we're closer to that supreme being, that supreme divine one, ultimate. In the Vedic they call it Paramatman, the supreme being God, right? And so we're all fractal portions of that. But where are you on the spectrum of like how close are you getting to that perfection, right? And so we all have the potential to be able to work toward a closer point to, because like P talks about and like the Vedic tales talk about, from the beginning, like divine God like divided itself into these different portions to create the multiverses and to be able to sustain the multiverses. And the type of like recycling or the destructive part that is necessary within existence, that's also part of divine. And there are different levels of spirits, the Atma, the Mahatma. I don't really know all the exact details in the whole Vedic point of view, but you can raise the level of your spirit and that is getting closer, that is like becoming more like refined in this this evolutionary experience. So anyways, back to this dog god polarity. Yeah, it's either, and there's, I like how the English language, and like P has pointed out, there are these words and then the inverse of these words. So like live and evil, right? Anything that's the opposite, anything that's going to be contrary or not supporting life, that is in reverse, that is evil, right? And so so seeking God is going towards divine, going towards that upward direction. But if you're seeking or living life in a way that's opposite of the laws of divine or laws of God, then you're going in a dog kind of manner. And the way that I see that, we see the actual animal, it does things that we wouldn't ever want to do.
Yeah.
If you've been around dogs enough, like I've had a dog in the past and different times, or you might see other people's dogs. They do these things where it's like, if another dog like poops in their yard, they'll eat it. They'll go and just like chomp it up, and you're just like, that is so disgusting. So we don't want to go, and that is by its own nature. That's in some way like a way.
Okay, but then we can argue also that the gorilla eat his poo right up his ass. Like the gorilla takes his poo off his ass, man.
Exactly.
Like
so
I'm like, what the heck? But
I know, right?
They have a good diet. Also, I'm sure their poop. I wouldn't eat their poop or my poop, but anyway,
right.
Like I don't know, but there's the gorilla too that does it.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's other species of animals that do it.
Right. And the whole thing with that excrement, you can actually, you can utilize it for you can compost it and turn it and make it actually soil.
Fertilizer. Yeah.
You can make it a fertile substance that you can help grow your food with. You don't want to be we won't get into all the details behind what needs to be done, because human manure is possible, but like I don't exactly, I've never done it myself. But
human manure, you better stop eating bacon.
That's for sure, right?
You're not gonna get good stuff coming out of there for your stuff. Like
exactly.
Maybe someone with the proper diet, no bacon, no pizza, no nonsense. Maybe they have a clean poop and can use it for the garden or stuff. I'm 100% sure about that.
Apparently there's protocols. It has to be have been composted and turned for like at least a year. Because the thing is, dealing with excrements and things like that, you don't want to risk the chance of getting yourself sick, because there can be different things that you get sick in there from,
bacteria and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so the earth can like basically make it into something usable again, but given the right condition and the right amount of time. But that's neither of us are experts on that, so we're not going to like go into.
No. Deep into poop today. But I'm just saying we're observing the behavior of animals like dogs and gorillas and
and see this whole point of like we want to leave this
there's no human that would do that like a gorilla. Come on.
Right? No, exactly. Not any person with any type of sense. You know what I mean? I know. But you said, we're not getting deep into poop. And the thing is, if we're not careful with our lives, we will get in deep poop just by taking actions of ignorance. You know what I mean? Like we will be in like an unfortunate situation. That's what I'm kind of saying.
You'll be in deep poop.
Right. We're trying to get out of that into, a better life, better.
It's a better way to say it, deep poop, than deep.
Right.
I like that better.
Yeah.
So the dog, no, that's for sure. So maybe we can go on to the next one, love and service, Frank.
Yes.
That would leave the poop talk aside.
Exactly.
So we'll go on to something a little bit more pleasant to smell, love and service.
Yes, exactly. This is more like roses, right?
Yeah, exactly.
love and service. To completely dissociate the word love from service, as many have done for various stupid reasons, is absolutely ridiculous. Love and serve are inseparable. Love without service is just madness and devolution. Without evolution, love is nothing, as love is short form of evolve only. Serving higher and divine shows one has love for oneself, and without love for oneself, one's own self, no other kind of love is possible.
So, amour et service. Amour et service. Complètement dissocier le mot amour de service, comme beaucoup l'ont fait, pour de différentes raisons stupides, est absolument ridicule. Aimer et servir sont inséparables. L'amour sans service, c'est juste folie et dévolution. Sans évolution, l'amour n'est rien. Comme l'amour, love, n'est que la forme courte d'évoluer, evolve. Servir le supérieur et le divin montre qu'un être a de l'amour pour soi et sans amour pour son propre être, aucun autre type d'amour n'est disponible, n'est possible. N'est possible et disponible. Ben, c'est disponible, mais c'est pas possible. So it's available, but it's not possible because of the lack of you should get up each and every day with a servant heart. What can I do to serve the earth, to serve others, to just wake up with a servant heart. Mm-hmm. Let Jah lead the way. Right. That's nice. Eh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let the divine lead the way. Let the divine lead you and guide you, and do not resist. Do not resist. Do not think too much about it when you start serving higher and divine, because you'll friggin' stop at one point. Your default state will kick back in, and you'll be put back in the bleachers, and you'll friggin' do nothing with your life. So don't think about it. Don't just do it. Just do it. Be of service and just do it. Don't think too much, especially at the beginning, because the program is still running in your head to be of service, but just for yourself. Because we serve, but we serve even in ourselves in a destructive way. We serve ourselves in a destructive way.
Right. Yeah, so true.
We have to get to a point where we serve ourselves in a positive way, and then we can serve the world also in a very positive way. Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous to think also that serving is separate than love. Love is serving. When you serve Iron Divine, you have love for Iron Divine. Mm-hmm. We will be forever loving Jah. That's what Bob Marley said in his song, forever loving Jah. Because that's where it's gotta go. You gotta have love for higher and divine, and the love for higher and divine, it's love for your higher self also.
Yeah.
Like where do you think you're gonna see a higher being within you? Like if you yourself cannot even recognize the grandiose stuff about you, the divine, like, come on. So all these realization comes through service. Okay? Yeah. Serving. Just serve. You don't know where to start. Serve. Help others. Just help others. I always had in mind, help the maximum people achieve their dreams, and you will achieve yours. My dream is to wake up the world.
Yeah.
I know it's a big dream, but I would love to wake up everybody.
Right.
But I know it is not possible because of certain state of beings that we're in. But anyway,
right.
But I will be of service for Iron Divine until I have no more breath going through my nostril. I'll serve the truth. I'll serve the facts. I'll serve the reality. Yeah. I'll serve other people also on their mission. Everyone. And it's so easy to get together also. We're on the same mission, like me and you, brothers in the light, brothers of righteousness, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's easy to do stuff together. We do this with ease. We're not like we're on the same mission. So for sure, the opposite is also true. People on the mission of devolution do it with ease.
Yes.
Look around and you will see they have very much ease. But the same ease is possible the other way. Once you do enough work on yourself, it becomes easy. It becomes you. You start embodying the love and the service. And that's the way. So, Frank, give me your opinion on this.
Yes. Yeah, this is a really great P-log.
Yeah, I'm going to try to speak a bit less because sometimes I talk a lot, but you're my guest. So I'm going to try to make it a little bit shorter. I want to hear what you have to say. I know what I have to say. It's in my head. But
and this is an exchange too. So
yeah, exactly.
However, sometimes we have more, like things to express about.
Yeah, it depends how I feel too. So we go with the flow.
Okay. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. It's all love. It's all good. But this is such a great.
It's all love anyway.
Yeah, it's all love. It's such a great P-log, and I love how P has put in. He brings into perspective that what is given to us as like what we would call love today is very much this whole this romance notion of chasing after some type of twin flame kind of thing.
Hollywood love.
Yeah, exactly. And that the fact that beings come together, okay, that happens in life, but we should first, before any of those things happen, really be make it a mission for ourselves to seek divine, seek higher, and seek this thing that's beyond ourselves. What is beyond the mundane? Because there's something that has made all of this. There's something that is perpetuating life and this miracles that are happening every day. There's something behind the veil that we can't see, and that is operating the energies of reality. And so the whole bit of what P's talking about with teaching people like how to center themselves, how to become grounded, how to focus on refining themselves through their speech, through their actions. These are actually physical actions that we can take that start to refine our energies, and it starts to awaken our consciousness, and we start to see connections that we might have ignored or might have just never come to that conclusion in the past, And so so P is through this P-log just starting to express that, like, hey, love isn't just this Hollywood notion of chasing after other beings. When we start to cultivate or love this
boom, I like this one,
this connection and this seeking mentality and attitude towards higher and divine, we see how beautiful and how amazing it is. We want to do something for it. It's like, wow, like I want to do something that is going to be like that's going to, I want to say generate, but it's going to, that wants to kind of blossom the beauty of nature and the beauty of the elements and that within oneself. And so that can be an influence for others. So like P says, in certain times, in certain ways, a service to divine, one of the first ways that we can be a service to divine is start to do that work on ourselves, right? We start to have that learning attitude, that learning approach to life. Like, okay, how am I going to take care of my body? How am I going to feed myself? What are the things that is worth my time to engage in? Whether it's speaking, whether it's watching, whatever kind of content we might come across in whatever type of media platform, if it's going to be what we're listening to, what we're watching, either on the net or things like that, or like, where are we going to, if we have some extra time aside from, taking care of, whatever work we have to do to pay our bills and feed ourselves, how are we going to spend our extra time?
If we have time, if we let go of the wash mania,
Yes, exactly.
times
Right.
around that, anyway. Go ahead. But
It's
the wash mania is on at summertime, so let's
oh yeah.
wash and
I mean,
scrub.
yeah, let's scrub a car.
The water pressure.
Uh-huh.
Sick
Exactly.
shit. Anyway, they're busy washing stuff, so don't bother them.
Yes.
So great.
But I love how P makes this connection between love and evolution, like actually seeking a higher existence. That is, you have to accomplish and work out bits of service to yourself that is going to kind of unfold into this other kind of fractal thing where, like, okay, I'm working on myself. I'm learning how to live my life in a positive and an evolving way. And that means I'm going to start just taking certain actions, which is going to kind of determine like the places that I'm going to be, the people that I'm going to be around. Where do I like consciously choose to spend my time? Sometimes you're going to be around places or people that, might not be exactly on your same wave, but by circumstance, we're going to be in certain, either with family or like the family we're born into, or, our coworkers, or, we have to exist. We have to coexist in the world. But at a certain point, when we're walking on this evolutionary path, we can refine how we, like I was talking about, choose to spend our extra time. And I love how, so like P has said, is making this connection between love and evolution, and being willing to and taking the effort and the action to serve divine, like P says, shows that you have love for yourself. And without this love for yourself, no other kind of love is possible. So that kind of goes back to this social worker bit. You have to be willing to do the work for yourself before you have to help yourself first before you can actually help others, because you can't be wanting to evolve, but not living an evolving life in the first place, right?
En français, là, il y a quelque chose là, que everybody knows that saying in French. Là, aide-toi et le ciel t'aidera. Aide-toi et le ciel t'aidera. Everybody says that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've heard that since I'm young.
Yes.
Help yourself, and the sky will come and help you.
That's amazing. Love that.
Help yourself. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it is. All the rest the blessing will fall like freaking rain.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Start helping yourself.
Right. So, that's it's a beautiful point that P makes, and it's just a great. P really defines love in a new way that before coming across this, it feels true. Like you can connect and relate to like what P is saying, but he just expresses it in such a unique and beautiful way. It's really grateful for how he, let's put this together.
Oh yeah, he makes us reflect. He makes us introspect. I had so much fun also with that book. I had fun. I have fun doing this with you.
Yes.
So it provides everything you need to evolve, even the fun. So yes. Next, we're gonna move on to another section: is music and sound.
Yes.
Okay. After this, and we have time to do one or two maybe. But it starts with the sound. Yes, sound. He puts the emphasis on putting 2A and really make it sound like a sound.
Yeah. Almost like the aeioum, right? Like the
exactly. So I'll let you. And music is so powerful. Everyone.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone loves music. A nice little song here and there. Me,
24/7,
but
it's a vibe. Yeah, I mean the song of life.
They're not all psychopath on music like me, no? But
the soundtrack of life, and we want those sounds to be able to, motivate us to do the right thing. It was like you were talking with P one time, and he was just talking about, not only quality of sound is important, but also the content of the songs and things like that. Because he said, you go out to a common musical event these days. What is it actually? The overall energy of it. What does it make you want to go do? Does it make you want to go to the bar and drink? Does it make you want to go and party in a self-destructive way or something like that? Or does the energy of the music that you choose to listen to, does it help you reflect on, okay, what do I need to do actually? I want to connect with nature. I want to connect with divine. I want to take care of myself. I want to keep that positivity going up,
music is magic. It's powerful. But it takes sometimes the one piece of word in a song to scrap the song. So you have to be me. I always tell them, we have to make it right. We have to make it conscious and stuff, because we cannot ruin the song with one word about alcohol or something, or then it comes and kill the vibe. So it's important when you do music. For me, it's important that the vibe is right, that it's positive. There's nothing that can really influence you in the devolution way. It's all to evolve, to put more love in your heart, to just bring you out of depression, maybe. Who knows? Like it did to me so much good music. So that's why I'm sharing music with the world that much. And I'll probably never stop now. So get ready, you'll get more.
Yeah.
So sound. Now I'll let you go on with this, Frank.
Well, so I think there's one that we didn't finish in the last section on the other side of 11 service. Twice Born.
Oh, I don't have it here. It's maybe the page is gone. You serious? Maybe that's what fell on the ground. Hold on. Hold on. Twice Born. Dieu et douleur. I don't know. I don't have that. Twice Born. Yeah, I've seen it before. I have Sound and Music, Love and Search. Twice Born. Sorry, Frank.
Yeah, it's okay.
So Sound and Music will be for our next...
we'll start our next one on that. It's a good ending point.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do this one, and then we'll close.
So it's all sync with Iron Divine, you see?
Yes.
So Twice Born, yes, this is a very important one too, because, you're born dead with life. Yeah. I get news for you today.
Right.
So Frank, tell them, Frank.
Right. Twice Born. Twice born. First birth is from the physical mother that everyone has. Very few know or aspire for anything else, thus remaining firmly tied in the knots of dependency and obligation. There is, however, a second birth, not an out of, but an into birth. It is a birth into divine. Divine becomes the mother, father, everything after that. No obligations remain to the physical mother-father relations, etc., etc. Only when one is twice born does one become a Brahman, a knower of Brahmyan, multiversal knowledge, truly free.
That's so important, and I like what he said when he said the mother and the father and everything after that as nobly. Anyway, I'm going to read it in French. We'll talk about it. Né deux fois. Né. You born, you né. Such a weird word, né. Like, you come into flesh on earth and they give you a 2-letter word to describe that.
Right.
T'es né. N-E with an accent. Like, it's so small. Like, it should be a long... you're born, it should be the longest word in the dictionary. That signify your birth. Maybe, anyway. Né deux fois. La première naissance est de la mère physique, que tout le monde a très peu connaissent mieux ou aspirent à autre chose. Par conséquent, restant fermement attaché au nœud de la dépendance et de l'obligation. Il y a par contre une deuxième naissance. Pas en sortant d'une femme, mais une naissance à l'intérieur. C'est une naissance dans le divin. Le divin devient la mère, le père et tout Après cela, aucune obligation. Ne reste envers les relations avec la mère et le père physique, etc., etc. Uniquement quand un être est né 2 fois, il devient un brahman, un connaisseur de Bragignan, connaissance multiverselle réellement libre. Of course, you need to be born twice. You're born dead with life on this earth, literally. Like until you wake yourself up, you change your perspective, you change the way you look at the others, at yourself first. At first, change the perspective on yourself. You have something great within you. Are freaking greatness. Like, but you just gotta find it. So that's the work also that we have to do on ourselves, is to, bring that second birth really into flesh. Like, you gotta become it. You gotta me. Hence why I changed the name. I changed everything. I was reborn completely into not a different person, but a person with different perspective. I'm the same guy I was before. But just I see things differently. I see myself differently, others, and my whole reality has changed. Like, I'm now in charge of loving my own reality, not the controllers and the Babylonian controlling my brain to tell me what to think and then controlling what I do. Because they control what you think, they're going to control what you do. So that's very simple how they operate with that mind control. They just put it out there, and you're willing to go into it. So, because you have probably never experienced the second birth. And he's not the only one talking about that. A lot of people have said you have to die in order to really live. You have to die inside in order to really start living, because that default state is so heavy within us. So definitely it takes a rebirth of yourself. It happened to me, 2014 probably. So I'm probably, like, if you want to refer to that nonsense calendar, like 11-year-old.
11-year-old, right?
My age, 11-year-old. So maybe in that time construct that makes no sense, because the moon is not even taking into account. They go by creating a time frame that doesn't even account for the moon, and the moon is everything. Gives us this is the part also that we are completely disconnected with nature, and that's the idea of when I said the system wants to kill you, wants to kill your vibe, because he wants to kill your natural vibe too, because of the time construct and all that stuff. Oh man, there's so much stuff you need to realize, and that's why you need to die inside, because there's been so much stuff programmed into you that has nothing to do with reality. Nothing. Like that, the word that has nothing to do with reality, because hate is not reality. Love is reality. Look around. I'm not inventing that. I look around, I see love, and the mama hurt, and the nurturing, but in our walking dead state, that's really what we are as a population. We're walking dead, not even knowing. And that's the part where you realize you're walking dead. Then you start to die slowly inside, but you have to realize it. There's no one in their straight mind, human man and woman on earth, that have a realization that do not want to make a change. The only reason why we're stuck in that lower realm is because we haven't realized it. Your eyes are still either with freaking shades, sunglasses, whatever, in front of your eyes that prevents you from seeing the sunlight. I'll leave it like that. You gotta start again with those sunglasses.
Exactly.
I can't. It's so, and it's in my face each and every day, and I go out. Like, you're hiding from what exactly? What am I hiding? Like, I just want the freaking sunlight in my eyes. Like, not directly, but it still reaches you. It's not because you don't look at it that it's not reaching you.
Right. So true.
Anyway, go on, Frank.
Yeah.
I went again with those stupid sunglasses. I have to stop it.
Right. Twice born. This is definitely a great reflection that P shares with us. That, okay, yes, we all have a physical mother. That's how we got here. We had a being in which, we grew from a little small something, and then the vessel that was able to hold our spirit that we're going to be able to use as our vehicle for our whole life. She was the one who basically was the manufacturing facility for the bodies that we're in. That was our physical mother, right?
Yes.
But then, like P says here, most don't go beyond that or aspire to anything beyond knowing just the mundane and that simple bit.
And the love that your mother in flesh will give you is conditional. But the love of Mama Earth is unconditional.
Yes. Just like the love from the sun.
That's real love.
The sun will shine on anyone, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
It's an unconditional type of thing.
Yeah.
But I love how P says there is a second birth, not an out of, but an into birth. And so, if we think about the mother or mother and father, at a certain point, and P also relates this in an earlier P log, how every relationship to one degree or another is guru disciple. And so even mother in the first stage of our lives was our guru. She was the one who was able to teach us things and talk to us about life and share things with us. And they held a certain amount of authority over our life. They kind of told us what the rules are, what we're allowed to do, how we need to take care of ourselves and things like that. And depending on each of our situations, that will look a little bit different. But what P is sharing here is that once we get to a certain level or to a certain age and maturity and things like that, and if we are seeking to actually evolve and go higher, divine actually becomes this authority figure, this parental figure. So even depending on what our physical family or parents are like, for the most part on the earth today, we're going to have to kind of break out of the box or the shell that most of the people are inside of. So that means, and I think P relates to this in certain ways, because he says no obligations remain to the physical mother, father, or relations. So that doesn't mean we have to be like they are. That doesn't mean we have to drink the alcohol, eat the meat. We don't have to live that kind of lifestyle. Boom. Because they're not our authority anymore. Divine is our authority. This more important to listen to divine than to fit in and listen to our physical relations, right? Because in the end, they're not coming with us. When we leave this body and we go on to our next destination, the divine is going to give us. We go. Each one of us comes into the world alone, and we leave the world alone. And when we leave the world or we leave this body onto our next existence, the only thing that comes with us is all the actions that we've done and the energy that has created within us. And divine will sort us where we need to go based on how we lived our life and all that kind of stuff. So I love, P just brings about this. And I think P mentions this too, because neither you or I can really speak of this from a personal point of view, because we each grew up over here on Turtle Island in the West, but also in the East, obviously they have parents too, but I think there's different kind of things that come along with, like, it's really, you're not supposed to go against your parents, I don't know if it's more common for us over here to rebel. It doesn't make us any better or whatever, but, they have a whole bit where, even in certain places and ways, like, you bow to your parents and you always are listening to what they're going to tell you to do. But, if they're not living a divine life, then there's no point in doing that. because it's more important to bow to and be able to be of service to your divine authority.
And what would be the point of listening to your parents is if the voice of your parents is the same voice as the society?
Yeah.
So they will listen to the voice of society. That's what my children did. That's what all children do.
Right.
And especially here in Canada, US. Canada, US is the same
Yes.
habits of eating, same bacon everywhere.
Same nonsense, right?
Same nonsense everywhere. The Canada, US, the same. So that's why if they don't listen to a higher voice within their parents, if their parents have no wisdom, what's the point of listening to them exactly? So probably confronted with higher and divine parents, maybe the child will be more receptive to learn and to learn a skill and to learn something. Because look, I see Pierre Audred, one of my guys that make dub plate, his son started playing piano at 5-year-old. He plays with him in concert now. He's 10 or 12-year-old. Wow. And he plays with him in shows. Like, it's freaking amazing. So, because his father is on a mission, the son is on a mission too. Like, it's not hard for them to grasp the mission. It's just they have to be orientated, tell the children the truth about themselves, who they are, their capability, the opportunities that they have with life. But if you don't feed them nothing else but craft dinner and Pepsi and pizza, you don't feed them knowledge and wisdom, they're stuck. And they will remain stuck until they unstuck themselves.
That's it.
So I think that's the cycle a bit, that the parents and the children and there's no evolution. It's because the parents are not evolving. So why would once you make a shift within yourself and you bring knowledge and wisdom to the table instead of pizza and hamburger and all that nonsense, you will have children that will be enlightened. They're so easy to program the children into greatness. They're easy to program into evil ways, but they're easy to program into greatness. Their brain is a sponge.
Yeah.
That's why you can teach a children to learn piano at freaking 5-year-old, and he will play probably some play like Beethoven or something.
Right.
Because we are great people with greatness, with skill. I don't like the word skill so much. There's skill in there. But with talent and creativity, and we should just bring it out in the world, and we all rejoice and have a good vibe and have a good life. And we're all serving Iron Divine in ways that we have never imagined possible. I've never imagined all this even possible 10 years ago. So, but because I'm willing to expand, you're willing to expand and evolve, well, it's gonna take you on the ride.
Yes.
And I'm happy with that ride, seriously. So far. So Frank, unless you want to add something else.
Well, it's just always a joy, to be able to reflect and, put our attention on these things. These are the important bits that will really carry us into a better life if we can, take them in and live by it. And so I'm grateful for P always.
All I want is to smile more. I just want to smile till the freaking day I expire.
A real smile, right?
Oh yeah, a real smile, genuine smile, man. Put a smile on your face, like I don't know. I'm trying more and more also with non-magic muggles to put a smile on my face. Sometimes it's hard, but I'm trying. But here, definitely, I have a huge smile, and it's a love smile. It's all love, and we will be forward again next Moon Day for another great session with Frank. I have dub plate session, and I have session with Frank, so that's great. So, and more music coming. Daf Chaman is in the studio today, recording 2 brand new dub plates for the Truman Show. And I have also Tampane in the weekend. Anyway, I'm always into projects. Always. We got to make that thing strong. That's it. That's it. We make ourselves strong in the process, and we give thanks for life. And Give back. Just give back. Give. It's about giving anyway. I don't care. I've received a whole lot in my life, so it's about giving now, and that's where my spirit is. And giving back good vibes to the world is important to me. So, Frank, large up once again, and we'll be forward next Monday.
Yes.
Much love, everyone. Grateful for your full presence and power once again here today. Boom. We're up.
Peace.
Peace.